So Captain America 4, a lot of people are going into this with the pitchforks up already. And listen, with 5 writers and a series of reshoots, I can understand to some extent, but come on. Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan were so good together in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that I went into this with some good expectations because I like those two together. And I figured with Danny Ramirez coming in as the new Falcon, there's gonna be a great duo. And I had a great time with Captain America 4 because there's a lot to love, but there's something missing. But let's talk about it, guys. Sam, Isaiah, and Joaquin Torres were so fun on screen together. I love the 3 generations of heroes that we witnessed between those 3, and the actors, Anthony Mackie, Carl Lumbly, and Danny Ramirez, are so good on screen together. They just have this dynamite chemistry that is very fun to witness. There are some awesome action sequences in the air as well. Listen, whenever Captain America and Falcon take flight, step back and watch, y'all. It is amazing on a big screen. Love to see it. And also, love the battle between Red Hulk and Captain America, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Anthony Mackie as Captain America, man, I really love him because he has a more relatability and aspiring tone to him. There's a shift in the Captain America mantle where with Steve Rogers, it was more so someone you could look up to in the sky. This is someone you can aspire to be on the ground, and that's nothing against Anthony Mackie as Captain America and Sam Wilson's Captain America. He is a person that you can aspire to be. I really, really dug Anthony Mackie as Captain America. There are some scenes that he absolutely stole the show from me. Obviously, it's his show, it's his movie, but he was dynamite. There are about 10% scenes though where I was like, okay, I don't know. But 90% of his scenes, he is absolutely dynamite as Captain America. And speaking of Red Hulk, like I said earlier, he looked incredible. I mean, way better in the CGI finish. Not that the trailer looked that bad, but in the finished movie, wow. The CGI battle actually looked fantastic, and I love bringing back Tim Blake Nelson. He was awesome as the leader, and I love bringing in the Hulk lore to this movie as well. It makes sense to me. Harrison Ford and Carl Lumbly are legends, and they prove it here, and they just are amazing every time they come on screen. There's this gravity that they have that they're so experienced with throughout their acting careers. Listen, Harrison Ford, the legend himself, is amazing as Thaddeus Ross. I loved how he played in and out of the anger and how it built up throughout the movie, and man, you guys are in for a treat once you witness that transformation. But let's talk about the things that maybe it's missing that I believe held it back from being on that great level, like the Winter Soldier, and I hate to compare, but to me, this is a little bit more comparable to Captain America, the First Avenger, where I felt the same. I think it's not quite Winter Soldier level, but it's very, very good, very enjoyable. And while the in-air combat and Hulk scene were awesome, those were fantastic action sequences, the hand-to-hand combat leaves much to be desired, but when you have the Winter Soldier and Civil War, it's a little hard to top. I mean, listen, the hand-to-hand combat between Steve and Bucky is one of the best battles in the MCU, and that choreo was absolutely pitch perfect. The punches, the kicks, the hand-to-hand looked amazing. It looked up close. It looked dynamic. And we just don't quite have that hand-to-hand. It had heart as well. This movie had a lot of heart, but there were some times where it felt a bit hollow, a bit like the writers were cooking in the lab and they thought they were just absolutely cooking, and it just didn't come off as organic as they wanted it to. But that doesn't happen too much to where it ruins the movie. I think the biggest thing is it just doesn't have that cohesion that the Winter Soldier has, and I think that Winter Soldier has its issues as well, but here, there are some pacing issues. There are some veering off from the main plot that unfortunately makes the editing and the pacing suffer. There are some lulls in the middle where I felt myself checking my watch, wanting to know, okay, when are we going to get back to the action? When are we going to get back to Captain America 4? When are we going to get back to the heart of this story? Because we're off here with Sidewinder, we're over here with this person. The veering off was a little distracting and caused a little bit of, again, some watch checking. Now, there were too many villains as well, because I like Tim Blake Nelson, But man, they wasted Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm like, how could you do this to the legend Gus himself? He deserved a bigger role, and while I did like his acting as Sidewinder, I do think that villain needed to be a main villain of a later Captain America movie, or not used at all. I just think Giancarlo is so much bigger than this, and I think that he was wasted, guys. But I love how Sam's Cap is something people can aspire to be. Not taking the serum is what Sam Wilson's character is all about. Being the Captain America of the people. And not a super soldier, but a soldier who is super with a great heart and who worked his way up to fighting the good fight. And at the core of this movie is that heartfelt message of being able to be the best version of yourself. Being the best you can be. And that's what Captain America is all about. And y'all, that Red Hulk battle absolutely delivered. Listen, if you were looking at the trailers, maybe a little back and forth about that part, worry not, because that was absolutely spectacular. But hey, are you looking forward to Captain America Brave New World? I really had a good time, and while I didn't think it was absolutely phenomenal, I do recommend you check this one out, and I am very excited about the future of the MCU. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and listen, if you're new, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.